Oh, yeah. There we are. Welcome to Live Inside the Booth. I'm your host, Marlon Lowe. We got a great show for you today. It's going to be short and sweet. We got about maybe a 10-minute session at most. We got Kyle Keller from the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks. They've come off a big win last night over Baylor University. We want to bring him in. We're going to get a quick conversation with him. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you have any questions, you might want to ask them in the comment section. We may be able to share it with you. But right now, let's go to Coach Keller with Stephen F. Austin University. Coach.
Hey, Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Man, I'm a little tired. You know, we celebrated a little bit last night, but I'm doing great. It's an honor to be on your show. Trust me. I watched.
No, I appreciate you joining us. Really appreciate you joining us. Listen, you guys have come off a big win last night at Baylor University. You guys have been fighting the injury bug all season. Now, to pull off a win like that in that environment, can you give us some thoughts on what that meant for you in the program?
Well, you know, it was a great win for us. And, you know, I appreciate Coach Drew playing us, first of all. We have a hard time getting games here. There's been some great coaches, Danny Casper and Brett Underwood here, that have done some wonderful things. I mean, it's the winningest program in the last decade here in the state. And so we have a hard time getting teams to play us. So I first want to thank Coach Drew for playing us. But it was a great deal for our university here, Stephen F. Austin. And, you know, our guys, you know, we've been, like you said, we've fought a lot. You know, we got a bunch of guys out, but, you know, unity is really important. You've won a lot of games, and you got to play together. Play for Stephen F. Austin, play for whatever's on the front of your jersey. And we had a lot of fun last night playing, and we played Baylor at the right time. You know, they did something historic, winning at Arizona the other night. And then they got Oregon, I think, coming up on Friday. So, you know, it just happened at the right time for us.
Right. I get that. Now, with a big win like that, congratulations again. But how would you say a win like that can help you with your in-state recruiting?
Oh, well, you know, anytime you win a game like that against somebody that obviously we're not their rival, but it helps us when we go into homes. Everybody around the state sees that score. Every kid, every high school coach, they see that score. It validates what we've been trying to do here. It validates, you know, the level of winning. It validates, you know, us trying to climb up that ladder a little bit more. I mean, they've just committed basically $26 million to break ground this spring on a practice facility for us. You know, allows us for kids, hopefully, that want to come here. We want to recruit in state. We had 2 kids from Houston play last night in that game for us, and kid from Killeen. And, you know, we had others on the bench, guys that are out that in this area. You know, we beat LSU last year down in Baton Rouge. We want to play teams as much as we can around here. And there's, as you know, you coached one playing for the Rockets right now. There's great players in this state, Daniel House. I mean, and you allowed me to coach him for a little bit. And there are great players right here. We want to keep them all right here coming to Nacogdoches.
Right. Speaking of great players, now that we got you inside the booth, Shannon Bogues. Is he just a good senior, or could he have played at those other SC schools that you've coached at in the past?
Hey, I didn't want to say too much, but I did say this last night in the press conference after the game. You know, he played at Killeen and then went over to MCC. The kids won about 94 games, something like that, 95 games, maybe in a little over 3 years in college basketball. All he does is win. He scored about 1,700 points and he's going to score 2,000 points in 4 years of playing college basketball. So to me, I think that translates at a high level. To answer your question, I would take Shannon Bogues at almost every place I've ever coached, and that includes Kansas, because he does some things that are freakish athletically, and he can really score that basketball, and he's very quick-twitched. I mean, he had 30, I think, in Mississippi State last year, and you know, had a huge game at Missouri when we lost by 1 up there last year. And single-handedly, he was the one guy that could create shots against Texas Tech for us in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And he's He's got good size, and
he's going to play for a long time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. So, being at Kansas, being at Oklahoma State, being at Texas A&M, now you're at Stephen F. Austin, and you're the captain of the ship. You're doing a tremendous job. What's the biggest challenge you've experienced coaching at being a head coach at this current level?
Well, you know, and you've kind of done this. You've grown up too, and we all grow up, and we all have great mentors and leaders. But when as being an assistant coach, your suggestions, they were never wrong. You know, all your suggestions were always right. But now when you have to make those decisions, some of those decisions are wrong from time to time. And you got to live with those decisions that are wrong, but you believe it in your heart and your soul. And fortunately, I've worked for some great people. You know, worked for, you know, Eddie and his son Sean. I worked for Bill Self and Billy Kennedy, and started my career working for it. People never know this, but I worked for a guy named Leonard Hamilton, who is awesome, and he doesn't get enough credit for what a great coach and a great man that he is.
Right.
And so talk about a guy who's paved the way. If I just remember about 5% of what all those people know, you know, it'd be pretty hard for my kids not to have a chance to win some games.
No, definitely have to take all that. That's a huge lineage that you have, and you've got an opportunity to get taught and be around some of the best in the game. So it's showing.
Absolutely.
It's showing. And now with this schedule that you put together, and obviously, you know, you've been battling these injuries, but you've got some good wins under your belt. Are you preparing these guys for just the conference tournament, or are you hoping to maybe eventually, hopefully, get in that large bid into the NCAA tournaments in March?
You know, it's a great question. When we put this team together, you know, it's no different than what you do or others do. You know, you build for great things. You don't minimize your dreams. You think, man, how good can we be? And we've got this program here, you know, 2.5, 3 years ago. We thought, man, we want to be the best in the state, regardless of what league we're in, regardless of who we are. We're going to recruit the best players we can get, make them as tough and strong and selfless as they can be. And really thought year 3, this would be our best team. Even though we won 28 games last year, and our 2 non-conference losses were by 3 to Mississippi State and by 1 to Missouri last year. And, you know, I felt like, we led Texas Tech for 37.5 minutes in the NCAA tournament last year. And I thought this team was the best after 3 years. And then you mentioned it. We try not to harp on it around here, but having these injuries, having 5 of my top 8 out right now, it's been disappointing because we probably lost some games we wouldn't. But you know, at large, there's no way this team can get in a large bid with the losses we've had. You know, all we talk about around here is winning in Katy, winning the conference tournament, which, you know, we've had a stranglehold on for 4 of the last 5 years, and we won the regular season, I think, about the same amount. And that's what we're growing to. We really harped on that a lot lately as we've been hurt. Playing our best in March, giving them a vision, and staying together. These kids have really done that. I'm really proud of being able to embrace the challenge and overcome adversity.
Okay. Now, with these next few games that you have remaining, with these next few games, not sure when somebody like Holyfield, your all-conference player, will be back. But how has it been with making the adjustments without him in the lineup?
You know, this summer, he went to Brazil. Him and Bogues both went to Brazil, won a gold medal for the United States in the Pan Am Games, and which is a great honor for both of them. And Holyfield came back with a bad back. And then we get into – so he's out about 6-7 weeks. We really don't have him. We've had him for about 2 weeks, and then gets hit in the shoulder and tears his labrum. And he's actually out, had surgery. He's out for the year. And so I don't feel like I really coached him. I've had him for about 10 days this year. So we've just kind of gone on without him. I hate to say it, but we just kind of put our minds away from him. And I'm going to get the other 4 back. And I told our team this about 10 days ago. I said, guys, we're going to be like the G League. We're going to get 4 call-ups from the G League at some point in time. I think we're going to get a guard here, Como, sometime 1st of January maybe, for conference. And then our other point guard, Augustine, who just played 2 games. He dislocated elbow and a scrimmage at A&M. They came back, played a couple games, and they got mono. So you don't want to rush him back. Then I'm going to get a kid who's had a concussion for over 2 weeks. It's been a terrible deal for him. He's fought a lot. And then another kid who's got a torn labrum in his shoulder, but they haven't had to operate on him. My sixth man from a year ago. So, you know, hopefully we'll get all those kids back sometime in January and be ready to rock and roll sometime maybe February, where we become full strength, and maybe the last month, 6 weeks, we'll be playing our best, I hope.
Okay. Now, as we conclude, Coach, many people may not know this about you and obviously the history that you've encountered and endured since you've been in coaching. In 2001, you were at Oklahoma State. There was a tragic plane crash, affected the lives of many, even to this day. How has that situation and that experience helped you with your coaching now and with how you handle young men that's in your program or in the programs that you're involved in?
Well, I think to a certain degree, I'm a lot like a lot of, you know, AAU coaches in that I don't know any AAU coach that gets rich coaching. I mean, they do it because they love kids and they love the game. And it could have been, I could have very easily quit coaching. I flew up on that plane in 2001 when we played Colorado and we got beat. And Coach Sutton switched me after the game with a player who happened to be my cousin, because I had scouted the game and I had the next game. He wanted me to get back sooner because the plane we were on was a King Air propeller plane, and there was a jet that he wanted me to get back on. Little did I know that kept me here on this earth. And my cousin got to go to heaven, got to go to eternity. And it was a tragic deal for probably not those 10 men because they're in heaven, but the people that were surrounded. And it cost probably our president at the time, an athletic director, aged Coach Sutton for sure, painful. But for me, it brought a lot of clarity in why I coach and the purpose. And that's the analogy I guess I would make it to AAU coaches, because they don't coach to get rich. To me, they coach because they love the game and they love kids and giving kids an opportunity. And I think that brought a lot of clarity for me, at least why I coach. I know my purpose, just like you and many other great coaches like yourself.
That's interesting. No, that's great.
Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Isn't that right, Coach?
It's absolutely the reason why. You just enjoy the moment. You enjoy the opportunity to be able to teach and be around young men and be mentors and teachers to them, and just enjoy the ride and experience with them and help them to achieve the levels that you've achieved and hopefully to go beyond what you've ever actually experienced yourself. So,
I mean, how many kids have told you thank you because you gave them a chance to go to college? How many others like yourself have done the same thing?
Yeah, it's a lot that have told me thank you, and it's some that, you know, they may not say it verbally, but you know, deep inside they appreciate a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's just something that you just look forward to watching, and it's nothing like, to me, about seeing the progress of a kid, to be able to see them make it and enjoy life and have opportunity to grow and be successful for themselves and their family. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I continue to be around basketball and kids overall. But
yeah,
it's your
everybody knows about House right now because he's back in the Rockets. Everybody knows what you've done for Daniel. I hope should, you know, and mentoring him and getting him to this point. But I guarantee you there's others that you've impacted, gave him a life, gave him a chance to have a life and have a family and provide for them, because you got them into college to get a degree where they wouldn't have that chance. Daniel's is just public. The others aren't public. You know, and those are the ones I'm sure you take as much gratification in versus Daniel House. Everybody just gets to see that one.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, just a day before yesterday, someone asked me, say, how many guys since I've been doing this over 22 years, but I started a program in 2000, the first class of 2012. They asked me how many guys have graduated from that 2012, since 2012. We had 16 guys. We counted out 16 guys that have got a college degree since then. Isaiah Taylor was with the Cleveland Cavaliers this year. He had an injury. While he's in Oakland, California right now, he's even taking classes for the University of Texas. So we always push education. It's important to make sure that these guys have that degree and understand that they have to have something behind them, because eventually the ball is going to stop bouncing, and we want to make sure that they continue to put themselves in a good position.
Yeah, you do it for the right reasons. I mean, and we appreciate that. And you know, we got some changes going on with our deal right now. I probably can't say anything or I'll get crushed, but you know, it's a unique time, and hopefully we'll get it all worked out between us. You know,
absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Coach, one thing for sure is always great to know guys like you respect guys like that, and you're actually there to pick up the phone when we call and might need to have a question. I want to thank you again for taking the time out this morning. Congratulations on a good win. Continue success throughout the rest of the season, and we look forward to watching you in the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you. Appreciate you having me on today.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
There you have it. Kyle Keller from Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks. Big win last night. They've been playing without 5 key players. 5 key players that could be starters on any other team in the conference. You got to give them kudos for that. You got to respect what they've been doing up there in Nacogdoches, Texas. Great opportunity to make sure that you follow those guys, stay on board, and see what continues to come from the Lumberjacks. Listen, thanks for tuning in Inside the Booth. I'm Marlon Lowe. We'll see you soon with some more hot coaches, big wins, big games, and can't wait to continue to talk to these players, the high school players inside the booth. Y'all enjoy your day. Make sure you sign up on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Inside Booth. On YouTube, Inside the Booth. Subscribe for us. Make sure you let us know when there's a player that you feel should be inside the booth. Let us know. We'll follow you back on Twitter. We'll make sure that we can interact with you and get them live inside the booth. Marlon Lowe, enjoy your day. Thank you.